Hey, basketball fans, welcome back to Tips and Streams, your go-to spot for the hottest NBA regular season predictions. I'm Kokan, and I'm here to break down today's matchups and give you the edge you need to make the best bets. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video. Your support means the world to us. Remember, our channel has no sponsors and relies solely on the love and support of viewers like you. Even a small donation by pressing the thanks button under the video helps us keep bringing you top-notch content every day. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and fellow basketball enthusiasts. And we love hearing from you, so drop a comment below and let us know what you want to see in our forecasts. Your feedback helps us improve and bring you the content you crave. Let's jump right into today's NBA predictions. We've got some exciting games lined up, so stay tuned and let's get that winning streak going. Today we have predictions for 4 NBA games. The first prediction for today is for a game between the Washington Wizards and Detroit Pistons. Looking at this matchup between the Detroit Pistons and Washington Wizards, I think there's a good chance the Wizards will cover the 15-point spread. The Pistons have been playing some solid basketball recently, with Cade Cunningham leading the charge. They've been cruising to victories, including a dominant 20-point win over Washington just a couple of days ago. That's the second time this season Detroit has blown out the Wizards by 20, and on the surface, it looks like a no-brainer that they'll do the same here. But here's the thing, I believe this time to be different. Sure, Detroit has been playing well, but with their eye possibly on upcoming games, especially in matchup against the Thunder, I could see them taking their foot off the gas just a little. After all, they've already beaten Washington twice by 20 points, and that can sometimes lead to a little complacency. The Pistons are hot, but this is the kind of spot where they might not be fully locked in for the entire game, especially against a team they've already handled with ease. On the other hand, the Wizards have shown a bit of fight lately, despite their miserable overall record. They've been competitive in their recent games, going 3-3 in their last 6. They're obviously not a playoff team, but they've been keeping games closer than expected, and I think they'll manage to stay within that 15-point spread. Washington has young players like Bilal Coulibaly and Alex Sarr, who are still developing, but they're getting valuable experience and showing flashes of potential. While they're not yet the cornerstone players the Wizards hope they'll become, they've been playing with more urgency lately, and that could help them keep the game closer. Furthermore, Detroit's defense, while solid, has weaknesses, especially when it comes to defending the paint. Washington could exploit some of these gaps to keep the score respectable. Even though Detroit has the clear advantage in terms of overall talent and recent form, Washington's ability to hang around and at least make things competitive means I'm confident they'll cover that 15-point spread. This isn't to say I expect Washington to win outright. Detroit should still take this one, but I think the Wizards will manage to keep it closer than expected. The Pistons' focus may not be fully on this game, and the Wizards are due for a better performance than their past blowout losses to Detroit. In the end, I'm taking the Wizards to cover the 15-point spread here.
Welcome to BetUS, Sportsbook and Casino, your ultimate hub for secure and thrilling sports betting and casino gaming. BetUS is one of the oldest and most reliable online sportsbooks in the U.S., serving millions of clients all over the globe each month. BetUS, trusted for over 30 years, offers huge welcome bonuses, countless betting options, and many deposit and payout methods. Depositing funds is a breeze and safe, with a minimum deposit of just $10. Payouts are fast and hassle-free, beginning at only $50. Choose from various payout options like MoneyGram, couriered check, cryptocurrency, or bank wire. Signing up is quick and easy. For signing up, you can use the link in the description and enjoy a generous 125% welcome bonus of up to $3,000. By signing up using the link in the description, you'll also support us as we earn a small commission from your registration at BetUS. Thank you for supporting us. Join now and start winning.
The second prediction for today is for a game between the Los Angeles Lakers and Milwaukee Bucks. Tonight, we've got an intriguing matchup as the Lakers head into Milwaukee to face the Bucks. This game has a lot of potential, but the recent trends for both teams suggest the Bucks might have the edge. Milwaukee's been a bit off lately, losing 3 in a row after an impressive stretch where they won 8 out of 9 games. The last few losses have been especially tough. They were right there with a lead against the Pacers, but a last-second shot by Tyrese Halliburton, followed by a foul on Giannis Antetokounmpo, turned what could have been a win into yet another heartbreaker. That followed losses to the Magic and Cavaliers, leaving the Bucks with a 36-28 record, tied for 4th in the East. Despite the slip-up, the Bucks are still a dangerous team. They're the third best shooting team from deep and sit among the league's top in overall field goal percentage. Their offense isn't lighting it up as much as we've seen in the past, ranking just 13th, but their defense is rock solid, especially with Giannis anchoring them. They've been a beast on the boards, especially defensively, though they do struggle on the offensive glass. On the flip side, the Lakers are trying to find their rhythm after some big changes. The trade for Luka Doncic raised a lot of eyebrows, and for a while, they looked like one of the hottest teams in the West. But injuries have hit hard, and now LeBron James is out, leaving a big hole. The Lakers are still trying to figure out their offense without him. Luka's been stepping up, but it's tough when you're missing a guy who runs the whole show like LeBron. They had a rough go recently, with losses to Boston and Brooklyn, and it's clear they're missing that extra star power. They're still holding it down defensively, though, ranking second in defensive efficiency over their last 15 games. But the offense? It's been shaky at best, 14th overall, and their three-point shooting has been weak. So, even though their defense has been elite, the lack of firepower has been evident. The Bucks are hungry for a win after this rough stretch. They've been a little out of sync, that when they're clicking, they can score with the best of them. With Giannis and Damian Lillard both expected to play, the Bucks had the tools to get back on track. Their offense usually hovers around 115 points, and when they hit that mark, they're 25-4 this season. If they can get to that level tonight, it's hard to see the Lakers keeping up, especially with their offense being so dependent on Doncic right now. The Lakers' defense is no joke, and they'll do their best to slow down the Bucks' high-powered offense. But with LeBron out, it's tough to see how they'll match Milwaukee's energy, especially on the road. The Lakers have been inconsistent away from home, with a losing record on the road, and without their full roster, they're just not the same team. The Bucks, on the other hand, are back home, and with their defense holding firm and their stars ready to roll, they're going to come out with a sense of urgency, knowing they can't afford to keep dropping games. In the end, as much as I respect the Lakers and their defensive effort, this one feels like it's Milwaukee's game to lose. The Bucks are the healthier team, they're at home, and they're motivated to snap this losing streak. I'm expecting them to get it done and cover the spread. 6 points is definitely doable for them, especially with Giannis and Lillard leading the charge. The Lakers just don't have enough right now, and I think Milwaukee takes this one by a solid margin. Before we move on, I have a quick favor to ask. If you're enjoying the content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Subscribing might seem like a small action, but it actually makes a big impact for us. Plus, it's completely free for you. Have you clicked that subscribe button? Awesome, thank you so much for your support. Now let's dive back into the video. The third prediction for today is for a game between the Brooklyn Nets and Chicago Bulls. The Brooklyn Nets and the Chicago Bulls are about to clash, and this game has some intriguing dynamics to consider. The Bulls are riding high, having won 3 straight after a rough patch. They've managed to take down some decent teams, including the Orlando Magic, Miami Heat, and the Indiana Pacers. With a record of 27-38, they're hanging on to about 10th spot in the Eastern Conference and have a decent shot at making the play-in tournament, sitting 5 games ahead of the 11th place 76ers. But let's be real, Chicago is in rebuild mode. The trade of Zach LaVine was a big move in that direction, and it won't be long before Nikola Vucevic probably follows him out the door. While they might not be playoff contenders in the traditional sense anymore, they've got some young talent that's showing promise. Josh Giddey has really stepped up, and in the win against Indiana, he drops 29 points and grabs 10 rebounds, looking like the kind of guy who can be the new face of the team. Kobe White is also showing he can handle more responsibility, picking up some of the scoring slack left by LaVine's absence. On the flip side, the Nets have been struggling. They're sitting near the bottom of the East at 22-43 and, frankly, making the play-in seems out of reach. They've won just one of their last 9 games, with their lone win coming against the Lakers. It's clear Brooklyn is focused on rebuilding, especially after moving on from Ben Simmons, and injuries haven't helped either. But even with their rough patch, the Nets have been pretty competitive. They've kept games close, like their loss to Cleveland, where they only lost by 5 despite being heavy underdogs. Cam Thomas has been a bright spot for Brooklyn, putting up solid numbers when he's on the floor. And then there's D'Angelo Russell, who could have a key role in the future after being brought back from the Lakers. While Brooklyn's not exactly making noise in the standings, they've got the kind of grit that can keep games interesting, even if they're not winning consistently. Looking at this matchup, I got to say, Chicago has been solid, but they're a bit of a roller coaster. Their defense has been awful this season, allowing over 120 points per game, which is one of the worst in the league. If Brooklyn can capitalize on that, they've got a real shot at staying in this one. The Nets will get plenty of chances to shoot the ball, and if they can make their shots count, they could cover the spread, maybe even steal the win. Chicago has been better defensively in their last couple of games, though, holding opponents to under 110 points, which has been a rare feat for them this season. If they can keep it up, they've got a chance to grind out another win, especially with their high-powered offense that can score with the best of them. The big factor here, though, is the absence of Josh Giddey. Losing him is a massive blow for the Bulls. He's been doing everything for them lately, from scoring to dishing out assists, and even locking it down defensively. Without him, Chicago is missing a major piece of their puzzle, and that's where Brooklyn might catch a break. The Nets have shown they can hang with teams, even in their rough patch, and with the Bulls a little short-handed, Brooklyn could take advantage of this one. In the end, I think Brooklyn has a real chance to cover and even win this game. Chicago's been on a roll, but the loss of Giddey is huge, and I think that's enough to tip the scales in favor of the Nets. As for the total points, it could get high scoring, but with both teams struggling defensively, I'm going to call it under 233. Final prediction, I'm taking Brooklyn no just to cover the spread, but to win this one, and with total points under 233. The fourth prediction for today is for a game between the Sacramento Kings and Golden State Warriors. This game between the Kings and Warriors is shaping up to be a crucial one for both teams, but I gotta say, the Warriors are looking like the team to beat right now. They've been on fire lately, winning 10 of their last 11, and they've really turned up the heat since trading for Jimmy Butler. That move injected some serious life into the squad. With a record of 37-28, the Warriors have surged into the 6th spot in the West, and they're looking like a real threat as we head into the stretch run. Last time out, they took care of Portland 130-120, and they made it look easy. They were up 68-49 at halftime, and it was clear the Blazers never had a shot. Gary Payton III stepped up huge, dropping 26 points, and Jimmy Butler was everywhere, posting a triple-double with 15 points, 10 boards, and 10 assists. Then, of course, there's Curry. He's been cooking lately, averaging 24.5 points and dishing out 6.1 assists. And let's not forget, their defense has stepped it up this season, ranking 8th in the league in defensive rating. They're limiting teams to just 112.5 points per 100 possessions, which is huge in a high-scoring league like this. On the flip side, Sacramento has been all over the place. They've had some decent stretches, but they've hit a rough patch lately. They're dealing with injuries, most notably Domantas Sabonis, who's still sidelined, and that's been a huge blow to their front court. Sabonis is the league's top rebounder and brings a ton of value on both ends of the floor. Without him, the Kings have struggled to maintain the momentum they had earlier in the season. They've now dropped to 33-31, and they're in a fight for their playoff wise, currently sitting in 9th place in the West. Their last game was a tough one, getting blown out by the Knicks 133-104, and it's clear they were missing something on both sides of the ball. The Kings made a bold move at the deadline, trading De'Aaron Fox for Zach LaVine in a 3-team deal, and while LaVine has been solid, averaging 23.4 points since joining the squad, he's not exactly a plug-and-play fix for all their issues. DeMar DeRozan, another key piece, has been averaging 22.1 points, but Sacramento needs more from their other pieces to really compete with the big dogs. Looking back at how these two teams have matched up this season, Sacramento has actually had the upper hand. They've beaten the Warriors by 20 in one game and then again in another, and it seems like the Kings might have found a way to crack the Warriors' code. But once Golden State landed Jimmy Butler, everything changed. They've been a whole different animal since then, and in the most recent meeting between these two, the Warriors blew the Kings out 132-108. Golden State shot 53.8% from the floor in that one and drained 20 three-pointers. They also made all 12 of their free throws, showing just how dangerous they are when they're clicking on all cylinders. Sacramento has to find a way to keep up offensively if they're going to have a chance in this one. They're one of the top scoring teams in the league, ranking 8th in points per game. The Kings like to run and gun, and they do a solid job of taking care of the ball, which will be crucial against a Warriors team that thrives when they get out in transition. The Kings have shown they can get hot and put up big numbers. When they score over 115 points, they're 24-11, so hitting that mark will be key. If guys like DeRozan, Sabonis, if he's back and Malik Monk show up, the Kings could make this a game. But let's be real, the Warriors have been playing too well to bet against them right now. Golden State is on a 5-game win streak, and they've been putting up a ridiculous 119.8 points per game during that stretch. They're shooting nearly 47% from the floor, hitting 37.8% of their threes, and they're getting to the free throw line a lot, which is exactly what they need to keep doing. The Warriors are clicking on offense, and their defense has improved too. They're now 9th in scoring defense, holding opponents to 46.3% from the field. They've just been so solid in every aspect of the game lately. Sacramento has been inconsistent, and while they're getting healthier, it's hard to trust them against a team like Golden State when they're playing as well. The Warriors are healthy, firing on all cylinders, and they've got a chip on their shoulder from those early season losses to the Kings. I expect Golden State to come out with a vengeance, especially at home. I'm all in on the Warriors in this one. I think they'll handle business, win by double digits, and cover the spread. They've been playing the best basketball of the season, and Sacramento just doesn't have enough right now to keep up.